Hey everybody, Frank from Apptoto here. I'm the founder and I'm excited today to show you our new campaigns feature. This is something that's been in the works for a while and people have been beta testing it and really getting a lot of use out of it. It originally came out of some requests we had from clients who said, hey, listen, we have this address book of clients that we need to meet with on an ongoing basis. And we need some sort of system that can run in the background for us and keep our calendars full throughout the year by sending messages to these clients, getting them to book in a time with us through an Apptoto booking page. So let me show you quickly how this system works. So let's say you have an address book of contacts. I've got a fake address book here with 3 contacts. And let's say I want to send those contacts to a booking page. First thing is, I need to create a booking page. So in Apptoto, I'll go to the booking pages tab. I'll click let's add an availability tab. And I'll give it a domain, my first booking page. And we'll say book time with me now, please. Of course, you can customize this to your heart's content. Once you create that booking page, you can send out the link to that booking page and it basically puts your calendar online. Now, of course, if you have Google Calendar or Salesforce Calendar, whatever calendar it is, your availability is going to show up here without the client being able to see the details, but then they can pick times and book an appointment with you. So once you have a booking page and an address book, the next step in using campaigns is to head over to the Apptoto Campaigns tab, click Add, and I'll just put in my first campaign. And Apptoto wants to know what address book we want to target, so I'm going to target the Apptoto test because that's the one that has my 3 contacts in it. And I'm going to send them to this book time with me now, please booking page. If you don't have a booking page created already, you can choose this new booking page and Apptoto will provision a new one for you using default settings. You probably want to set your booking page up first before you actually do this. So in this case, I'm going to choose my existing booking page. And then I can choose from a series of campaign templates. So we have a bunch of tried and true messages that work well for different types of purposes. I'm just going to go ahead and choose the default standard booking campaign and click Done. That drops me immediately into the campaign settings. And I'll go over what these are in a second, but the most important thing I wanted to show you is this Messages tab. And this is where you can configure when the messages start going out relative to contacts and also what messages are sent. So the default template gives you 6 total messages spread out over 6 days. And you can edit these messages and you can insert fields just like you can any other auto message in the Apptoto system. Click Preview, see how the message is going to look when you send it. Once you're happy, you can click Done and head over to the Launch tab in your campaign. Now this is really where the action takes place. Once you get all your settings set up, you go to the Launch tab, you click Preview, and what this is meant to do is give you an idea of how many contacts we're going to target. So let's say you messed up and you selected the wrong address book and you click Preview and it's going to target 3,000 contacts. You might not want to actually launch it. You might want to fix that and come back here and re-preview it. But in this case, I did select the right address book, so it's got 3 contacts for me. If I sneak peek onto the Results tab, it will show me which contacts are going to be sent, and I can even drill down into the messages and actually see when they'll start going out and what those messages are going to say. So once I'm happy with these messages, I can go back to the Launch tab and I can agree to Apptoto overages, and this is where the number of contacts becomes important. So Apptoto will use, for every contact that we send a message through campaigns, it is going to count against your appointment credits, messaging credits that Apptoto has on for whatever subscription you're using. You do get up to 10 messages in this Messages tab per credit, but you really do need to agree to the overages and then click Launch. Once you click Launch, what's going to happen is Apptoto goes off and starts scheduling messages and sending messages based on when the messages should go out. So if I go to the Results tab, you'll see some messages are starting to get sent. If I click on one of these guys, it's going to show me what message actually went out. So if I click into one of these, say the email, you can see here's the booking link that's sent. So each person receives a special booking link that's tied to them. So when they book an appointment, they don't have to actually put in their details. We will have pulled in all the contact details from the address book already. And if you have other fields on here, they can fill that out. But this is nice. They don't have to fill it out again. They can change it if it's a different number that they're using now or whatnot. But when they click Book Now, what that does is that books the appointment directly onto your calendar. but it also in your campaign will show that now you have, out of the 3 contacts that were targeted, 1 booked. And if we head over to the results tab and click onto the booked section, now this shows you that Fred Smith booked. So they can book either through that booking page link, or, and this is important, they can also book just by calling you. So if in your message you ask them to call you, or they come in person and they book an appointment, Apptoto will notice that on your calendar and automatically take them out of the campaign, which is a pretty neat feature. So we look both for direct, explicit bookings that took place through an online booking in Apptoto. Also, just if you throw it onto your calendar, that can stop the messages from going out as well. So that's a pretty simple first campaign. Once it's up and running, then any new contacts that get added to that campaign will automatically receive a message. So let's say I add a new contact here, and I put it into the right address book. Again, and I should have mentioned this, but these address books, it could be a Google address book, Salesforce address book, whatever address book we integrate with can work with campaigns. So if you're automatically syncing your Google address book and all of a sudden a new contact shows up, like say someone with my name and phone number, and that gets added to this address book that's being targeted by the campaign, switch back over to the campaigns, you'll see now a 4th contact has been added to this campaign. So once you get the campaign up and running, that address book becomes a live address book that you can add contacts to and send messages and get them to book appointments with you, which is a pretty powerful feature. So let's say you don't want to target all of those contacts. Let's say instead of just targeting all of them, you want to, I'm going to pause it so that I can make changes to the campaign. You can't make changes while it's running, so I paused it. I'm going to go ahead and click on this filter. So this is on the campaign's basic info section. This is where you can set up a contact filter. So you can say, you know what, I only want VIPs to be targeted. And the way you do that is, let's say you have a custom contact field named VIP, and you only want this campaign to send messages to contacts with the custom field VIP selected. So I'll click done and I'll click relaunch. And now if I go over to the results tab, what you're going to see is now no contacts. All the contacts have been removed out of that campaign because none of those contacts I have in my address book are actually flagged as VIPs. To flag a contact as a VIP depends on what type of address book you're using. In this case, since this is a local Apptoto address book, what you can do is you can come in here and in the notes section, you can type VIP:true. Now, if this was a Salesforce address book, or which maybe has a custom field called VIP, we could pull that in and then automatically kick off a campaign when contact field details change. But in this case, I'm just going to put VIP:true, click Save Changes. Now what that does is that sets that custom field to true for that contact. And if I go back over to the campaign, now you can see 1 contact is being targeted. So this campaign is a live, breathing thing. It reacts to things that are happening in your address book in real time and starts sending messages to those contacts. So this is a pretty powerful feature that can get messaging out to contacts when you need them to in order to get them to change their behavior or to book an appointment with you. So that's one way you can set up customization around who's going to get who's going to be targeted by the campaign. You can also do some other neat things, like you can say, okay, well, you know what? Actually, I also want to target contacts whose last appointment was more than a month ago. So, and you can keep this up and running, and Apptoto will basically just, as time progresses, look for contacts in your address book that haven't been back to see you in more than a month and start sending you these messages. You can also target between dates. So if you have a specific date range, like a cohort of contacts that you want to contact, you can do that. Another really neat feature is you can set up when the messages should start going out. So for example, let's say you have a list of contacts and they all need to meet with you once a year at certain dates, and it's different for each contact. And what you can do is you can tell Apptoto, okay, instead of having the contact just start getting messages the second they're added to the campaign, I want to actually base it on a specific field. So I'm going to go to contact field annually, and I'll put in, let's say, anniversary. And I want these messages to start going out 7 days before the anniversary field in that contact. So if I come down here and click Save and go to the Launch tab, So now it's targeting 0 contacts. That's because none of them are VIPs and none of them have anniversary dates. Let me pause this. I'll remove this condition just to make it simpler and relaunch. Go back to the launch tab. Still 0 contacts. Again, the reason is because none of my contacts have an anniversary field filled out. So to fix that, let's go over to my contact. I'm going to edit this VIP one. No longer needs to be VIP. And so I'll put anniversary. And let's say I first started meeting with this client November 12th, 2017. This is a free-form date field. You can put whatever you want there and click Save Changes. And let's go back to the campaign. And now we should see 1 contact's being targeted. If I go into the details and click Results, I can actually see when those messages would start going out. So because I set that contact to have an anniversary date of the 12th of November, this year messages are going to start automatically going out to that client on the 5th, because that's, 7 days before my anniversary date. Now, if I had already booked a new appointment, if this contact had already booked an appointment with me, it wouldn't start sending messages. So this is only going to start sending messages when the client's anniversary rolls around and a new appointment has not been booked. So there's some really powerful features you can do with these campaigns. We have a lot of clients using them. Basically, it takes over all of the headache that goes along with keeping your calendar full throughout the year, and we're really excited about it. Feel free to reach out to support@apptoto.com if you have any feature requests or run into any sort of issues when you're using campaigns. We're more than happy to help and show you how the system works. Thanks very much.